Today we will cover one of the most beautiful desktop UI in Linux. It stands between KDE and GNOME in terms of modern UI. It is less customizable than KDE, but more stable and lighter than GNOME. This desktop came to Fedora in Fedora 38. I checked Budgie before in Ultramarine OS, and now we are going to explore Fedora Budgie today with its beauty and its synergy with Fedora 38. So let us start. So we are now inside Fedora Budgie 38. It is the same procedure for any Fedora spin. You need to use the Anaconda installer to install it. It's also very straightforward, and now I have installed it and we are ready to go. So first we have this panel and we have this desktop. In the desktop we have the home folder, which is called Budgie, and there is the trash, and here we have the panel. If we look at the desktop, there's nothing much you can customize. When I right click, there are only two items: the Budgie desktop setting and the system settings. We will explore these, but there's only these to make everything clean so that you don't mess with the desktop. Like you right click, create a document, all of this. They put all the documents you can to force you to use not the desktop in order to keep this desktop clean and simple. Here we have the start menu, and if you notice, it has a search bar with some of the applications that we sometimes use. For example, we have the PDF viewer, Atrel document viewer. These are the control center for controlling the desktop. There is Budgie screenshot. If you want to take a screenshot, it is built in with it, so why not have it? There's calculator, there's the disk, there's the image viewer. There is here the files, which is, I believe, Nemo. Let me check. Yes, it is Nemo 5.6. And we continue. There is gedit for text editor, so that's fine. Firefox for our browsing. There is also language. If you want to change the language, it has a possibility. Makes it very easy to change languages. And for productivity, we have the LibreOffice all along. Nitrogen, I already installed it. This is not installed by default because I used this distribution in my IceWM guide. That's why you will see Nitrogen, and you'll see maybe Tinto and some others. Onboard, if you need a keyboard, if you don't have a keyboard, you can use the onboard, which is also fine, which is great. Parole media player for your media. There's not VLC because of course of licensing issues in Fedora. That's why we don't see any VLC. This parole is XFCE, by the way. There is also passwords and keys. There is also the music player, the same idea. The software, system monitor, the terminal, Thunderbird. So it's fine that we have some Thunderbird, and Tinto also I already installed. So we will start first with the system monitor. Looking at the system monitor, we have around 1.2 gigabyte. I have used a little bit. It's not a cold reboot, but the memory is around 1 gigabyte, which is also normal for this type of modern UI. So this is for the system monitor. The other thing we will talk about, which we will spend some time on, is the software. But now let us go with the settings first. There's two types of settings. These are confusing. I don't know which one is which, so it's better to have them as one, but I don't know what's the strategy behind it. But let us start, for example, with Budgie desktop setting. Here we can change the style. It is like LX appearance in XFCE. We have the widget set the appearance of the decoration. You can pick between these. Let's say if you want to pick compact, it will be the font will be lighter, the widgets. Icons also Papyrus. You can use Papyrus Dark if you want. It will not be apparent now. And the cursor and notification. Dark theme is set by default. You can remove it, and when you restart, you will get the light theme. And this is the built-in theme and the animation. Very straightforward. no config files, just only changing some items and we are done. For the desktop, it tells me desktop icons is there. The home directory, you can put it off or on here. The same with the trash, and the icon size, if you want it bigger, we can make it larger if we want. Maybe massive, you can make it massive also. Number of virtual desktops, this one, if you need to put something inside the panel, like 1, 5, 6, 7 desktop, you can increase it from here. Fonts, it is Cantarell, they use Cantarell as the default font. Raven is very important for your notification center and for your music. It is available here on this right side. It can be, you can get it directly through Super A. So when you press Super A, you will get it. You will get the widgets here. It has a calendar. It has the devices that are available, the sound or the cameras that are available here. You can check them directly here. And of course, there is here the notification center or whatever we have as notification. This is if you need to check your notifications from here. Another thing is that here in the bottom right, there is also an icon. You click it, it goes out, and you click it, it gets on. But if you want, it's better if you remember the shortcut, which is Super A, in order to get it. For the Windows, we have some, if you want automatic tiling, for example, if you move something here, it will tile directly. You can put it on or off. And there are some minimal things you can do with your Windows. You can check them here and get to know them better. The main part here is the panel. We have a bottom panel, and maybe I will get another panel. It is on the top by default, but you can change it. You can change it, let's say, on the left or the right, but there's not much you can make out of it, like making it less. You cannot do it. The size, you can increase the size, for example. The spacing between the items also, you can make it automatically hide. Of course, there's transparency, shadows. So these are the important things. The things that need to be included is the applet. So you can include something in the applet. Let me put it first on top, so it will be better for us to check it. So this is on top. I made it bigger, and we start with the applet. Let us add, let's say, for example, caffeine. It is added by default. So if you don't want to go directly to the unlock screen every time, you can put it caffeine. You can press it, for example, caffeine mode. You can make it on so that it will not go to unlock mode, for example. Another thing, let's say you can add, there's the icon task list, which is this one. Let us add it. So it put it in the center. So you can make it here. It will be next to it. The other thing, let's say, for example, you want to add the notifications, the Raven trigger, which is here on the right, separator, show desktop, you can get it. System tray, task list, the one that if you see a program here, let's say this Budgie desktop setting, which is here, you will have it also here, the same thing here. And the workspace switcher, let us add a workspace switcher. So these are 4 in the center. Let us make them here. So these are the 4 that are included. You can add another one here. So directly, without going to the Budgie desktop setting, you can add it, or you can right click and remove. And if you want this one also, you can remove, and that's it. So you can have also the desktops here also. The last thing we will cover is auto start. If you need some applications to start directly, maybe to have a splashing sound or some animation when you log into any session of Fedora Budgie, you can add it here. You can add the application or the command. Maybe it is a script you want to run some things before, to clean some things, clear some cache, etc. You can use the auto start apps. So this is all for the Budgie desktop setting. Let me remove the top panel I can remove it here and it is gone. Okay, so the other thing is the system setting. The system setting is very nice, very clean. You can see here the Bluetooth. If you have a Bluetooth device, directly you press here. If it is available, directly it will identify it. Very easy and very clean. There's also the applications. For example, these are all the applications. You can get them directly from the setting here, but also you can manage the sound. Also the sound can be put down here. Also the power, displays, mouse and trackpad. And the most important is the printers. Directly you don't need to check if you installed caps or anything. You just plug in your printer, press here, and it will be detected, hopefully. And the other thing is the keyboard, and that's the important thing. You can add a language, maybe English, maybe French or Chinese or any. You can add them here, so you'll have many sources, and also you can put it in the panel if you want. And the most important thing here is the keyboard shortcuts. So we look here at the keyboard shortcuts. For the accessibility, I already modified 5 here. Let me show you where are the 5s. If you want to decrease the text size, I put it as F8. You can put it, for example, F9. All you have to do is you press it, you press F9, and you set it. It will be F9. Let us put it as F9. Increase text size, also I put it F7. If you want, if you don't like it, you can make it F8. The other thing is turn zoom on or off is F12. Zoom in and zoom out F5 and F6. Unfortunately, these are not working. I don't know why. Zoom in, zoom out. But for the text, they are working. So if you want to increase the text, if you have problem with increasing the text, now it is F8. So you press F8 and the text is increased. I press F9 and it will decrease. F8, F9, and it will increase all the things here. For example, here F8, F8, and here it's already increased on all the system, not only on this one. So let us press F9 again. It will be smaller. That's for the accessibility. For the launcher, if you want to launch the calculator, these are the default ones. Let's say if you want to launch the web browser, you put, let's say, super W, so directly you launch them, so directly you can have more productivity. It's available in most desktop environments or most system, but it is good that we know about them. There's thing about the navigation, Raven, screenshot, system, typing, Windows. I changed something in the Windows. What is the thing that I changed? I changed toggle full screen. I put it as Alt 1 because I'm used to it. So if you want it as full screen, I press Alt 1. These are not the full screen. So Alt 1, let's say. So it will make it full screen. Another Alt 1, it will return back. There are many things that has been taken from Windows, like super left, for example, super left, super right, super up, super down. Very simple. This is for tiling, and it is also used here in Fedora Budgie. The other thing is Alt F4 you close, so I press Alt F4, it will also close. Super R, which is run a command, is not there. We had to check it in the keyboard, but here it is Alt F2. So you press Alt F2 and you can search. Let's say I want to search for Parole. You get Parole Media Player and you enter it and you get it. That's basically it. The last thing we will discuss is the software and what are the limits of the software that we have. So here we can search for it, for example. Let me search for it, and if you want, you can drag it here. You can put it here also. Very simple. Let me double click. it is very fast because I already opened it before, but when it first boots, it will take a lot of time. So here you press the updates. It is up to date. If it is not up to date, it will tell you, and you click a button and it will update everything. These are the installed applications that are there. If you want to uninstall them directly without needing any terminal. And for the Explore, you can search for any program that you need. For example, I want to check for OBS, and it gives me the OBS Studio, and it tells me you can check it is only Fedora Linux, and we know that OBS Fedora Linux is not good. You need the RPM Fusion one because it has more the multimedia codecs. Here we have only the RPM and the Flatpaks, I think. Let me check before. Let me go back. Here in the software repositories, we have Fedora Flatpaks. We have the RPMs with Fedora 38. So only, and also the Linux vendor firmware service. There is no RPM Fusion. We need the RPM Fusion in order to have no problems with the sound and audio. For example, VLC is not available here. Let us check it. VLC, it is not available. So it is in the RPM Fusion, and of course the OBS is also in the RPM Fusion. Another thing, for example, if I want to install GIMP, if you notice here, since GIMP we have a Flatpak and RPM, they are both of them. So how we can get the RPM Fusion? So all we have to do is we go to the website. Let me open Firefox. I already put it here, the configuration RPM. You check here Fedora with DNF. Directly you pick this all. You pick it all. You copy it. And you search here for terminal. It's rather very easy, and you paste and you press enter. You put the password. Now we're installing the Fedora RPM Fusion repositories. These repositories are essential for all Fedora spins, and it is very light. You install it directly, there is no problem, and that's it. So now we have the RPM Fusion. The other thing we need to talk about is that although it is available here, let me show you also what I mean. Although I already installed it, but it will not be available here in the software. It will be apparent here. If you look at the repositories here, if you notice now, we have RPM Fusion, the free and the non-free are available here. But the problem here, although these are included here, they are not still available in the metadata for this GNOME software. For example, if I want to search for VLC, it is still not available. We still need to install something, and it already included it here in the link that I will provide in the RPM Fusion. It is called the AppStream metadata. In order for it to be apparent, you need to install sudo dnf groupupdate core. So this is the only thing that you need also to install here. Let us install this one. Also, it is not there's not much space for it to install. Okay, so it's only 560K. We press yes, and we get the keys also, yes, and that's it. So now our software center is complete. Let me close this one. So now if I say VLC, we have now the VLC. So easy. The only thing that I see also still missing in Fedora Budgie is inside Nemo. As you remember, the default is Nemo here. The problem with Nemo here, I already in IceWM, I already installed these 3 zip files. Unfortunately, Nemo doesn't have an archiver included or file roller. So here it doesn't say open with the archiver, and there is no other application. So I think that in the next release they should at least have something, because zip files are always apparent everywhere. So we need an archiver included in Nemo. Fortunately, here in the software there is one, which is the one that is default with GNOME. It is file roller. And if you notice here, let me go. The problem is it is 9 megabyte, but needs 882 megabytes of additional system downloads, which is huge. I don't know why, but we can install it and we will see how it will perform. So let me install it and we'll come back when it's finished. Okay, so file roller now is installed. We can open it, but what we can do now is we go to downloads, we right click, and now we have open with archive manager, so we can also extract it and do whatever we want. So that's it. This is Fedora Budgie. Very beautiful interface, very beautiful windows. The UI is perfect. The functionality needs to change. Now with Fedora we can do a lot of things, especially the software, updated packages. Other than Ubuntu, you'll have all the features that are available with Fedora, so that it will make Budgie more functional and more users will start to use it. So that's it for now, and we'll be back tomorrow with another video.